Alright, hey everyone, it's Red again. So, today, this video is going to be about what I'm going to call vampires for lack of a better term, but do know that they are not vampires like Twilight or Dracula or anything like that. These guys are a lot more dangerous and they're a lot different than Dracula. So, I'm still going to call them vampires, but they're not really vampires. They're called Devourers. I guess I can call them that if you want me to, but just for. Yeah, I'm just. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so, what these guys are basically a monster, just like any other human with a spirit parasite. But this spirit parasite is called a devourer, and it's kind of like a spirit that can never stop eating. It's always hungry, it always wants more energy, more lifeblood, more everything to feed on. And when it manifests in the human form, it manifests as really grotesque monster. It has elongated fangs, sunken eyes. They all look a little bit different, but generally speaking, sharp teeth and paler complexion. Um, Usually they're more snake-like than they are bat-like, and I guess they're more demonic in like the classical sense of the word than they are like a bat. But so the important thing to know about devourers is that just like any spirit, they cannot cross a line of salt or iron, and they are killable, which is good. Um, but devourers are still very animalistic. Um, and a common thing that is shared throughout all monster species is that they tend to be less active during the day. So during the day, the spirit has less power, it's not as likely to harm anyone. During the night, they tend to be stronger and be able to do more things. In the case of a devourer, it's very nocturnal, and usually it only presents its true face at night, and that's when it hunts its victims. Um, to to understand these guys, they're not like vampires in the sense that they just visit a person every night and drink a little bit of their blood and eventually that person becomes a vampire. They're very strong, they're very powerful. They are blood drinkers, and that's why I can call them vampires, because blood is their main source of energy, because blood is life. Um, but they're more like they are they're pretty tough to deal with. While iron and salt can slow them down, the only real way to get rid of them is to just just go to town. um, they're very, very difficult to kill, and there are ways to separate the spirit, but usually once it gets in, it's going to stay there. Now, the other horrible part is that most of the time a devourer gets in through voluntary possession instead of um, involuntary possession. Um, these devourers are really, really tough to crack, and without the consent of the possessed, it's very difficult to do a possession. And without, and in this case, due to the fact that the human has given up their will to this creature, it makes possession nearly impossible. So the only thing you can really do is use powerful magic to get it out, or unfortunately, kill the host, um, which will also get rid of the spirit and it will not come back from that. Uh, in order to kill the host, you need to use certain weapons. In the Devourer's case, um, cutting off the head works, which sounds really gruesome. General dismemberment tends to work on everything. The whole thing about the stake in the heart, that really just pins it. It doesn't do too much. Silver hurts it a lot. So does iron. Um, as per usual. The best way to get rid of a devourer is to lodge a silver spike into the creature. Once that's in, it's rendered powerless for the most part, and then you can dismember it, which sounds terrible, but you should only ever do this if you're being attacked anyway, and yeah, never just go around dismembering things. If it's not hurting anyone, which I've never heard of a devourer not doing, then yeah, leave it alone. And if try exercising it before having to do anything else, because there are ways of repressing the spirit entirely, and there are magical ways of getting the spirit out. Like I said, we are not in this job to kill people or to hurt people. We're here to save people, and we have to do that whenever way we can. So yeah, that's enough about that. Devourers aren't all that numerous. There's not a whole bunch of them around anymore, but they're still there, and there are signs of their presence. I'll talk about um, investigating and finding cases in a later video, but a lot of spirits give off a very definite sign that they're there in criminal activity and a bunch of other things. So I'll tell you all about that later. But yeah, so Devourers are very powerful spirits, and when they take a human, if you want to call it a vampire, go for it. Um, this monster is very, very strong and very, very difficult to kill. Just about the only thing you can do is bind it with silver or iron and dismember it, or exercise it in some way. Alright, so with that said, I'm trying to get a video of a hunt up soon. I'm hoping that'll be a big thing and that everyone will enjoy it. I'm trying to work on that. So, alright, thank you for your time and good night. God bless.